Revolutionary greetings. Haki Kweli Shakur, Cedar Gabriel Prosser, coming at you tonight, man. Thought I'd figure I'd go ahead and drop my next topic that I wanted to discuss with the people out there. I want to give a shout out to the August 3rd Collective, New African Liberation People's Army, the New African People's Liberation Army. Shout out to all the real comrades out there, the Quadre, everybody out there, man. Shout out to all my black people out there that's, getting this African-centered education and, just getting y'all minds right out there. So, this video right here is going to be strictly about the two systems of the world. Because I think a lot of my new African black people don't really know too much about political, systems. And I know they be wondering, like, some of the, terminology that some of us be using. And I know a lot of my people, they don't really have time to, get into that type of stuff. A lot of people don't even really care about politics, which, I kind of don't blame them. But, you must get an understanding of, what's going on in the world and what's, what you're living under. You see what I'm saying? If you're always sitting around wondering why, conditions don't change and why certain people got this, why certain people don't got that, where they, why there's a, higher class, a middle class, a lower class, and, why there are wealthy people, why there are poor people. Well, this video is about the two systems of the world that is basically been in, combative warfare, intellectual warfare, physical warfare for the last couple of centuries, specifically in the United States of America, the empire of the United States of America. So this video is for, like I always say, this video is for my street combatants, I'm saying, my street tribes, my gangs, my everyday 9-to-5 working, struggling class of people who don't have time to do the research on this information. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I feel like I'm here to, give to y'all, just in case you get time to get up, and watch videos. Because I know a lot of people watch videos these days. So this is what I do. So this video is called "The Scientific Socialism is the Combatant to Eliminate Capitalism." Let me say that again. Scientific socialism is the combatant to eliminate capitalism. Period. See, a lot of our people out there, a lot of y'all not, like down with no type of, black liberation organization or organization, period. But you still must understand political science and political language, political education. I always tell people, man, like, study political science, man. Once you start reading books on political science and getting involved in political science, then you can raise your consciousness, your intelligence level to understand why certain countries are doing this, why certain countries are dominating other countries, why certain people that's oppressed in all these countries across the world are, revolting, pulling insurrections, revolutions and all this type of stuff, man. So these two systems can quickly define that. So I'm going to just go ahead and run through this real quick. Like I always tell people, in the New African Independence Movement, basically, we say that this is what we say and believe in. And, like my video, like I said, is always dealing with North America. I'm dealing with my people in North America because that's who I can reach right now. But overall, this is going on in every country across the globe. So while I'm teaching you about what's going on in North America, you can understand what's going on in other countries that's been going on in other countries before North America, and how we got to North America, and how North America was founded. North America was founded off capitalism. You see what I'm saying? That's the system we don't want. That's the system we want to eliminate, destroy. You see what I'm saying? So let me get right on into it, man. In the New African Independence Movement, we fighting for independence. And what does independence consider of? Independence considers of land. You see what I'm saying? Land is the basis of any independent people who want to, you know, control their own destiny and to live in freedom. Land. Why I say land? Land is the basis that creates, you know, the economic foundation in your economic, you know, system. Because with land comes agriculture. Agriculture is the basis of any people to survive, man. If you don't have no land, you can't really say that you're free. You see what I'm saying? You can't really say that you're controlling your own destiny. You see what I'm saying? Because you're not profiting off of, I don't really want to say profit, because I don't like to say profiting or exploiting off the land, because in African traditions, we don't look at it, we don't view it in that way. You see what I'm saying? In capitalism, European capitalism, they view it that way. They exploit the land. They you know, they exploit the labor. But in African traditions, we know that we must survive off land. Land is the basis of survival. So basically, it's not to us exploiting the land. It's us lifting up, taking care of the land, and living off the land. If you know, in order to sustain our survival, we need land, and you know, economics come out of that. Period. So let me get right on to it. So like I said, the struggle is for land. That's why you always hear say free the land. The struggle is for land. Period. And once we get this land, this is where scientific socialism comes in the picture, which I'm going to get to in a few seconds. But let me just give you the definition of what capitalism is. You know, because I think a lot of our people don't realize this is the system that, you know, originated racism. This is where racism comes from, people. Racism wasn't here first. You see what I'm saying? Racism comes out of capitalism. Period. When them Europeans went into Africa and invaded Africa, it wasn't about what they looked like. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't about their skin color. It's not about that they, you know, I don't want to say they hated them to a certain degree. Yes, they did, because of the brutal acts they took out on. But when they went into that land, that wasn't their mission. That wasn't their agenda. Their mission was to go in the land and take what they had, which is the resources. You see what I'm saying? And to conquer the land. You see what I'm saying? This is the difference. They didn't go in the land saying, I hate those people, you know, a racist mentality. It wasn't about, it was all business when they went into Africa. Even with the Arabs, maybe the Arabs, you know, that's a different story. I ain't really going to get into that. But capitalism. What is capitalism? Capitalism is an economic system in which trade, industry, and the means of production are largely or entirely privately owned and operated for profit. You see what I'm saying? Central characteristics, you know, of capitalism includes capital accumulation, competitive markets, and wage labor. Neo-slavery. You know, wage labor is neo-slavery. This is what I define as neo-slavery. You see what I'm saying? Because all they did was transform slavery into labor. Once they got us over here. You see what I'm saying? So, basically, capitalism is basically a system that's get control of the trade systems, the industries, and, you know, it's a small percentage of these people who are the small percentile who gets control of the resources, the land, you know, the production of these resources, and the profits off of these resources are split amongst a minority group. Because basically minority just basically means a small group. See, we shouldn't have never been labeled minorities because we was never minorities. Melanated people can never be a minority. So that's why we deem that as a racist term, because we are the majority of the planet. Black skin, brown skin, all melanated skin. So we were never minorities. These people have always been the minorities. The Europeans. You see what I'm saying? And when I speak of Europeans, I'm not talking about all Europeans. I'm talking about the small, evilistic percentile of Europeans, man. So let's get that straight also, man. Because, you know, New African Independence Movement, man, we anti-racist, man. We ain't falling for the small mind wash, man, that, you know, the psychological, you know, the psychological mind state to stay stuck in racism when we know racism comes from capitalism. You see what I'm saying? So basically, this is what's running the world right now. The small percentile Europeans who believe and push capitalism. Because out of capitalism comes European supremacy, which is white supremacy. In the systems that all they come up out of white supremacy. You see what I'm saying? European supremacy. I really don't like to use the color thing, so that's why I always say European supremacy when you hear me say European supremacy. Because color is a smokescreen. Period. It's about capitalism, man. It's about control of the resources and the land. This is what everything is about, man. You see what I'm saying? So, capitalism, as I just broke it down to you. Control of the land, resources, trade, and production. Controlled by a small percentile of private owners and private minority people. You see what I'm saying? So, that's one system. Because there's only two systems in the world, man. Capitalism, socialism. And there are only two types of people in the world. Oppressors and the oppressed. Period. Don't get confused. It's only two, man. It's only two things. Let me move right along. Basically what socialism is, before I even get into scientific socialism, socialism is basically the opposite. Duality. Everything has an opposite, man. If you can catch on to the, like the same, the coincidence of the same things in the world, how everything has an opposite, man. Everything has an opposite. You see what I'm saying? Socialism is the opposite of capitalism. Socialism is basically the same thing. Resources, trade, production. But this is controlled by the majority of the people. This is the people system. Socialism is a people system. Sort of like, I'm gonna give you a good idea. I'm gonna take it back to ancient Africa. Because African people, period, have always been communal, social people. This is how they live, man. This is how the clans live, the tribes live. This is how most of the empires lived in ancient Africa, man. Like, communal socialism, man. You know what I mean? Like, they lived under a communal, society. Period. And I'm going to break that down to what is a communal society. A communal society is the community and with, where you live, and basically we all taking care of each other, man. It ain't nobody over another person. It ain't no leader. It ain't all that type of stuff. Even though some people have leaders and all this type of stuff, it's basically a dialectical, system. You know what I mean? Dialectics. What is dialectics? Basically a dialectical, collective. This is what a communal, like society and system is, which is basically an African family founded. And, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just giving you a brief on how I'm breaking down my politics as far as a New African. I believe in dialectic collective existence, which is everybody is together, side by side, putting in this work, taking care of each other, man. Period. That's what communal is. You see what I'm saying? And that's what African societies were. Communal societies. Where they all had specific people in specific positions, building up the land, taking care of the family, taking care of the kids. Period. And that whole tribe was together and doing it all together. No one small person reaping all the benefits. You see what I'm saying? Everybody reaps the benefits. It's basically like the old African proverb and quote said. It takes a village, man. This is basically what socialism is. The people of that country or state or nation that's controlled by the people. This is what socialism is. And they control the production, resources, trade, and profits, man, which is split amongst the people to take care of people as a collective. Socialism. But let me give you the definition of, what scientific socialism is, and that's the ideology and with what we, believe in as New Africans. You see what I'm saying? So let me get to this definition of scientific socialism. Scientific socialism refers to a method for understanding and predicting social, economic, material phenomena by examining their historical trends through the use of scientific method in order to derive probable outcomes and probable future developments. It is in contrast to what later socialists referred to as utopian socialism, a method based on establishing seemingly rational proposition of organizing society and convincing others in their rationality or desirability. It also contrasts with classical liberal notions of natural law, indigenous natural laws, you see what I'm saying? Which are grounded in metaphysical notions of morality rather than a dynamic materialist or psychologist conception of the world. Scientific socialists view social and political developments as being largely determined by economic conditions as opposed to ideas in contrast to utopian socialists and classical liberals, and thus understanding the social relations and notions of morality are context-based and relative to their specific stage of economic development. Therefore, as an economic system, socialism and capitalism are not social constructs that can be established at any time based on the subjective will and desires of the population, but instead are products of social evolution. An example of this was the advent of agriculture enabled human communities to produce a surplus. This change in material and economic development led to a change in social relations and rendered the old form of social organization based on subsistence living obsolete and hindrance to further material progress. Change in economic conditions necessitated a change in the social organization. Now the definition of socialism. Socialism is an economic system characterized by social ownership of the means of production and cooperative management of the economy. This is what we believe in. Co-ops, man. This is what co-ops are. Cooperative economics. It's a people's systems, man. This is what they're doing in the Kush district in Mississippi. You see what I'm saying? So, Saleh moved to the, New Africans in Jackson, Mississippi that's holding it down, man. This is where the great Chokwe Lumumba and all them are building there, man. Co-ops, man. Co-ops is the medicine and the answer to our problems in every urban inner city across the United States of America, man. Period. And a political philosophy advocating such a system. Social ownership may refer to cooperative enterprises, common ownership, state ownership, or citizen ownership of equity. There are many varieties of socialism, and there are no single. There are no single definitions encapsulating all of them. They differ in the type of social ownership they advocate, the degree to which they rely on markets, or planning how management is to be organized within productive institutions, and the role of the state in construction socialism. So that's what it's basically about, man. It's about socialism and cooperative economics. Once the people come together, man, get together, man. Oh yeah, let me just get to this point. Why am I talking about these two systems as far as capitalism and socialism? Because political systems are the systems that protect your economics, man. You see what I'm saying? This is all that politics are. Politics are the system that is the defense guard to protect your economics, which is your bank and currency. You see what I'm saying? This is all that politics are. This is all that the United States government and all these governments and all these countries across the world are doing. This is what politics is about, people. It's about protecting your economic, social existence, man. Period. Because economics is the basis of a nation and state. This is what a free people are. People who control their economics, man, and their land. That is true freedom. If you don't know what true freedom is. And now just sit back and look now and ask yourself, do you really think you're free? Because where in the United States of America do New African, black people, period, have this? This is all the things that the great Baba Malcolm X was trying to explain to you, man. This is what black nationalism was and is, which we call it now. We call it New African nationalism. Because New African nationalism, nationalism and black nationalism is the same thing. It's the basic politics, man. And our politics are, social, economic control of our own destiny, man. Period. Which is the other system from like I said in my other videos of Imari Obadeli, man, the PSES, political, social, economic structures. This is what New African nationalism, New African nationalism is. This is what black nationalism is. You see what I'm saying? So that if you can understand that, I'm just putting the information out there for you to go research it. That's all I'm doing, man. It's not that hard. It's only two systems that run the world. Socialism, capitalism. Capitalism is everything that's wrong with the world. Capitalism is the reason that you have a poor class, a lower class. Why? Because the higher class is exploiting the lower class, the lower working class, man. This is capitalism. They exploit you through labor. You're doing all the labor, but you're getting the lowest percentile off the resources, off the land, and off of your labor, work. And the 1% wealthy is reaping all those benefits, man. They're raping you. When they talk about people getting raped, you're getting raped. We're getting raped. The working class is getting raped by capitalists in this capitalist government of the United States of America. You see what I'm saying? This is why we advocate for socialism, socialism, social change. Socialism is the combatant to eliminate capitalism. Period. So I just laid that out there for you, so you can go do your research on the two systems that run the world. There are only two systems that's running the world. There's a third system, which is communism. Communism, basically, like my OG Haki Kweli Shakur said, there are a lot of people that claim to be communists and claim to push communism, but they never ever established true communism. You see what I'm saying? Which I would get into communism, but this is what the video is not about. But that system is basically non-existent because some of the countries you see today are so-called claiming to be communist or push the ideology of communism are capitalist. They're capitalist countries, man. There are really no more socialist, countries that's really pushing socialism, except for a few. Hugo Chavez of Venezuela, he was one of the main cats that was putting it down. Free healthcare, free housing, the food, all that type stuff, man. This is what he provided there, man. That was socialism that he did in Venezuela, man, in South America. That's why he got killed. All the major countries who are, the true dictators are controlling the globe through capitalism. Your main Western societies and Western, this is what we mean by Western. When you hear us speak on Western, Western is European centered, view of the world and systems of the world, which is Europe, United States of America, and all the allies. Period. This is what capitalism is and the capitalists are. And capitalists can be black too, so don't get it twisted. We got black capitalists, man. Black capitalists everywhere. This is another reason why New African people can't come up in America, because the black capitalists right in your city raping and exploiting you and exploiting the people of that city. Trust me, all these Negro mayors, all these cats are collaborators of capitalism, man. This is why towns are struggling. This is why New African people are struggling across the United States of America, every town, because you got sellout Negroes who are truly capitalists and they are exploiting their own people for European supremacy and imperialism. You see what I'm saying? So I'm about to shut this video off, man. Again, the two systems of the world. Capitalism, we don't need that. We got to defeat that. Socialism is victory. Scientific socialism is victory. There are only two people in the world. Oppressed people and the oppressor. Period. Dead the color thing, man. The color thing is a major, major smoke screen, a weapon of mass destruction. Destruction. I mean, distraction. Weapon of mass distraction. WMDs, man. Racism, the skin card, the religious card, all these type of things, man. Distractions, man. You know what I'm saying? Even it's getting to the point now where your nationality is becoming a distraction because everybody is calling themselves this, calling themselves that. We arguing with each other over religion. We arguing with each other over nationality. Man, it's crazy. But I'm gonna tell you like this, man. This new African independence thing, we got our stuff straight, man. We at the table with it, and we got our mentality straight. We focused, and we ready. You know what I'm saying? Like my OG said, we ready, man. You see what I'm saying? It's just the time got to present itself, and we got to keep on, bringing our people up out of that colonized mind state, you know what I'm saying, of a slave mentality, man, to get down with this, nation, man, and just get free. So I'm going to sign off right here, man. Haki Kweli Shakur, Cedar Gabriel Prosser, August 3rd Collective, free the land, free the mind, free the people, rebuild. Saleh Mu.